Hey people, Joe Green on my box, another episode. So if you see me on Twitter, you see me on Facebook or Instagram, you know that this podcast was coming. This is it, man. This is the Spider-Man rant that I promise you. I don't know how much of a rant it will be. The episode is Keep Spidey in MCU. As you know, the deal between Disney and Sony fell apart. As of right now, Spider-Man's going back to Sony. It's a horrible, horrible thing, man. I'm a Spider-Man fan. I love the Spider-Man movies that MCU has made. This is my rant here. So, why am I so big on this? It's because Spider-Man was the hero that I grew up with. Spider-Man is my hero. If I want to be a superhero, I want to be Spider-Man. I read Spider-Man comics. Every Saturday morning when I woke up, I watched Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends. The Fox animated Spider-Man. I watched all that. I wanted to be Spider-Man because Spider-Man was a superhero I could be. If you see my promo, you would know that I read Spider-Man and Thor. Let's be real. I wasn't going to be Thor, alright? Thor's a German god of thunder. He was blonde hair, blue eyed. You know, Captain America was worthy. Red Norva was worthy. Fuck goddamn dog looking Beta Ray Bill was worthy. But a black kid from New York is not going to be worthy, alright? But a black kid from New York could be Spider-Man because underneath that mask, I could be Spider-Man. And Spider-Man's from Queens, so he's a New Yorker just like me. Growing up, Spider-Man was really, really my guy, man. All you want from these comic book movies, all I want from these comic book movies, man, is to see those characters that I cherished come to life. And when the first Spider-Man movie came out, you've heard me say it before, you heard other people in this podcast say it before. That first Spider-Man movie was fucking amazing, man. It was great. It stuck to the origin, everything about Spider-Man. It was finally our guy had come alive, man. Spider-Man was fucking alive, and it was great. And they rewarded us with Spider-Man 2. Another fucking great movie. But with all these fucking studios that don't give a fuck, then they gave us Spider-Man 3. I want Spider-Man to stay in the Marvel universe so we don't have another fucking Spider-Man 3, man. Marvel has made 2 really good Spider-Man movies that have stuck true to Spider-Man. You've heard me go on my soapbox about Spider-Man 3, so I'm not gonna go about that. Some of the fans like, well, I wish Tobey Maguire come back. Fuck Tobey Maguire, man. That Spider-Man is dead. Spider-Man 4, which wasn't made because the studio and Sam Raimi and Avi Arad, I don't know, they couldn't come. They just all fucked that up and they couldn't make Spider-Man 4. So Sony, to keep its license, because if they don't make a movie a certain amount of time, that license goes back to Marvel, they made that fucking craptastic amazing Spider-Man movie. That shit was fucking garbage. That shit was nowhere near true to fucking who Spider-Man was. Andrew Garfield was not fucking Peter Parker. Peter Parker's a fucking goddamn loser, right? Andrew Garfield was way too cool, man. You heard my son say in the Far From Home episode. Yeah, he was cool, man. He was a rebel. Fucking Peter Parker's a goddamn nerd, man. Andrew Garfield did not play Peter Parker. We all know the Spider-Man origin, okay? Uncle Ben dies because Spider-Man didn't stop the thief when he had the power, and with great power comes great responsibility. That's the Amazing Spider-Man movies did not do that, man. They didn't show that shit. When Uncle Ben died, it was like, oh, Uncle Ben died. Like, he was more concerned about Gwen Stacy's father, Captain Stacy, dying. That's some bullshit. Like, it didn't stay true to the character. Hey, Harry Potter fans, how would you feel if they rebooted Harry Potter and Harry Potter went to goddamn Slytherin house? You'd be fucking disgusted. And that's how I felt about this Amazing Spider-Man shit. Both of those movies were fucking garbage. Amazing Spider-Man focused on Peter's parents, on his dad. Fuck Peter's dad. Stan Lee didn't care about Peter's dad until like 6 years later after he created Spider-Man. Spider-Man was created in 1962. The first time they mentioned Peter's parents was in 1968. So if Stan Lee didn't give a fuck about Peter's parents, why should the fuck I? And even then in 1968, it was just a flashback. Peter's parents didn't even hit the comics until 1992. And it wasn't even the real parents. They were fucking life model decoys. Who fucking cares about his parents? And those Amazing Spider-Man movies, they so focus on Peter's dad. No, it's fucking Uncle Ben. Why hasn't Uncle Ben come back from the dead? Everybody else in comic books has, except fucking Uncle Ben. Because if Uncle Ben comes back, there's no point for Spider-Man. The villain in Spider-Man, that first Amazing Spider-Man, it was okay. Lizard, they didn't get that bad. Amazing Spider-Man 2, that shit was a hot pile of garbage. Jamie Foxx's Electro, that was horrific. The Harry Osborn Green Goblin, that kid was shitty. Everything about that movie was shitty. They did an itsy bitsy spider joke in that movie, man. The Rhino? The Rhino looked like a kid in a fucking mini Mecha Godzilla outfit playing fucking Power Rangers. That shit was stupid. Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2? Fucking stupid. And if you want Sony to get Spider-Man back so they can make some more of these fucking stupid Amazing Spider-Man movies and just fuck it up again, that's bullshit. In 20 minutes of screen time on Civil War, Marvel had a better Spider-Man than Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2 and Spider-Man 3. 20 minutes. That's all they need to show you what they could do with Spider-Man. How dope Spider-Man would be in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. 20 minutes. That's all it fucking took. Sony has dropped the ball with Spider-Man 3. They couldn't make Spider-Man 4. Amazing Spider-Man 1 was garbage. Amazing Spider-Man 2 was garbage. So if you're telling me, oh, well, they made Into the Spider-Verse. Yeah, that was good. But that's fucking Miles Morales. That's not Peter Parker. That's the real Spider-Man 4. Have you ever heard what Sam Raimi wanted to do for his Spider-Man 4? He was going to bring in Felicia Hardy, another Spider-Man girlfriend for no fucking reason. And then he was going to have her turn into the Vulturess. Not even, the Black Cat. Now he's going back and retracted the statement. No, I was going to do that. Because probably people like me fucking threw toilet paper and shit with shit all over his fucking house because they knew that was a fucking goddamn dumb idea. Yes, Enter the Spider-Verse is a good movie. But it's a Miles Morales movie, man. When the MCU got Spider-Man, I remember Amy Pascal saying, oh, we finally got Spider-Man. We got a deal with Disney. And Spider-Man's going to the MCU. And, our movies are going to be connected to the MCU. And Kevin Feige was sitting right next to her and gave a look like, hell fucking no. Your movies are not touching my fucking MCU because your movies are fucking trash. If you think Venom was good, Venom was fucking trash. At least Topher Grace's Venom had a white spider on his chest or a silhouette of a spider because he was connected to Spider-Man. So I seen some stuff on the internet. Well, now Spider-Man can be in a Venom movie. Okay, what's their relationship? They have no relationship because you already made a fucking stupid movie without Spider-Man. The whole sole purpose of Venom's fucking existence. It's fucking stupid, man. No, I don't want to see Tom Holland's Spider-Man in the Tom Hardy Venom. They are fucking selling you poopy flavored lollipops. That's how I feel about these Sony movies, these Sony Spider-Verse movies without Spider-Man. Is it the Venomverse? They're making a sequel because the shit made money. Everybody's gonna go back. Oh, Andy Serkis is gonna direct. Oh, it's gonna be great. It's still fucking Venom without Spider-Man. Oh, but Woody Harrelson's gonna play Carnage. Okay, great. Hey, did you read Maximum Carnage? Did you read Carnage? Spider-Man needed Venom to whoop his ass. Carnage can whip the shit out of Venom without Spider-Man. But hey, we're gonna make a movie without Spider-Man and have Carnage. Someone who's 100 times worse than Venom. And we're gonna do this without Spider-Man. Sony's fucking plans without Spider-Man is stupid. The Morbius movie coming out with Jared Leto? Sure, you could do that without Spider-Man. It's a vampire movie. But do you really want to see Jared Leto get another crack at the superhero biz? Suicide Squad was hot trash. We don't even talk about his Joker. That's how bad his Joker was. So now he's going to play Morbius. I truly believe that Kevin Feige thought that Spider-Man was going to be his and that he put Blade in the Marvel Universe Phase 4 so that he could kill Morbius. Because he knows that shit is garbage. And he doesn't want those shitty-ass Sony movies touching his fucking MCU. I don't want the Sony shitty movies touching the MCU. Sony's also going to make Kraven a hunter. Who's Kraven going to hunt? Venom? Because he sure ain't fucking hunting Spider-Man. But I guess he can do that now since fucking Spider-Man's back at Sony. Sinister Six. They were going to make a Sinister Six movie. Who wants to see a movie with 6 villains and no fucking hero? The sole purpose of the creation of the Sinister Six was 6 guys who Spider-Man was whooping their ass. Doc Ock, Electro, Sandman, Vulture. They had to come together to beat Spider-Man. And Spider-Man still beat him. So why are they going to come together? To fight Venom? Is this the Venom universe? Or is this Spider-Man universe? So I know Sony is like, yay, thank you Marvel for making us $1 billion movie. Now we'll take our Spider-Man back and we're going to put Spider-Man in our shitty ass movies so now we can make all the movies we want. Yo, Sony tried to make a cinematic universe. Did you ever hear about what was supposed to be for Amazing Spider-Man 3 and Amazing Spider-Man 4? Remember like that scene in Amazing Spider-Man 2? They had all the fucking suits ready to go. Dr. Octopus's arms and the vulture wings. And, they said like the Rhino fucking super suit. That's what you want to see? Just Spider-Man in the cinematic universe with a whole bunch of villains by himself? No, man. You don't want to see that. Disney finally got back Fantastic Four and the X-Men. One of the best comics I read was Spider-Man vs. Wolverine, and that's when you found out that Ned Leeds was the Hobgoblin. Spider-Man and Wolverine went to Germany. Spider-Man and Wolverine team up well. Spider-Man and MCU with Wolverine back in MCU would be a fucking fantastic movie. That's a $2 billion movie right there. And it's Marvel Studios, so they're not gonna fucking Batman v Superman with you. If they did Spider-Man v fucking Wolverine, that shit would be fucking epic. But you're not gonna get that because Sony got Spider-Man back. Fantastic Four. Fox has made 3 garbage-ass Fantastic Four movies. So happy that Marvel has Fantastic Four back. Now we can have a good Fantastic Four, but hey, maybe a good Silver Surfer, a Galactus that's a guy and not a fucking cloud of fucking shit. Kang the Conqueror's back. Oh my god. We could have Dr. Goddamn Doom, who sometimes fights Spider-Man. Hey, true believers, did you know that when Johnny Storm was killed off in the Fantastic Four comic books, you know who they replaced him with? That's right. Your friendly neighborhood fucking Spider-Man. Spider-Man is a fucking member of the Fantastic Four. Have you ever heard of the new Fantastic Four? Wolverine, Hulk, Ghost Rider, and Spider-Man? Holy shit. Just imagine if Marvel could fucking do that. They got Ghost Rider. I'd take Robbie Reyes. They got a Hulk. They got a Wolverine. Shit, if they had Spider-Man, that'd be a fucking epic movie right there. But no, man. We're not getting that shit either. Because you guys are so fucking happy that, oh, Spider-Man's going back to Sony. No, fuck that. Look at the opportunities you're missing. Stick to the source material. I'm not telling you fucking bullshit. These are comic books that I fucking read. Comic books that I fucking possessed. Just imagine if Marvel could do that. Just imagine that new Fantastic Four movie. You wouldn't have to deal with the fucking Reed Richards and Sue Storm and Johnny Storm and shit. You could have the new Fantastic Four, which is legit and comic book accurate. And you know how I feel about my comic book accuracy. That's just some of the things that Marvel could do with Spider-Man and the Fantastic Four and the X-Men. What Marvel has already done with Spider-Man is leaps and bounds what Sony has done. Like I said, we already talked about. I'm not going to talk about Spider-Man 3 again on a podcast. I already gave you a couple of rants about Spider-Man 3. I already told you how bad Amazing Spider-Man 1 was and Amazing Spider-Man 2. I'm not going to go back into that. And I said it early in this podcast. Spider-Man's appearance in Civil War was better than those 3 movies combined. Then we got Homecoming. Homecoming is a fucking great movie. The scene when Peter's taking Liz to the dance, to the homecoming dance, and you find out that Liz's dad is Toombs, and that car ride to the homecoming dance is the best Spider-Man scene ever. That shit was fucking awesome. You can't tell me that Sony and the producers of Sony's really give a fuck to make that type of fucking scene. They don't, because they haven't. Unfortunately, the best scene that Sony ever made was the Gwen Stacy death in Amazing Spider-Man 2, and that's fucked up. Homecoming was mad legit. Yes, Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man, yeah. Michael Keaton as the Vulture, yeah. But see what you can do with the MCU that Sony doesn't have? Marvel Studios took B-listers and C-lister superheroes and made them $1 billion fucking franchise. Captain America? B-list. Iron Man was a goddamn C-lister in the comic books when I was growing up. Fuck. Like, when I was reading Avengers, Tony Stark wasn't even Iron Man. It was fucking Rhodey. Because Tony Stark was a fucking drunk. And he couldn't be Iron Man. He got fired. Then, they sent his ass to be part of the West Coast Avengers. With the other losers like Hawkeye, Scarlet Witch, and Vision. They took the loser team and sent them out to California. But Marvel Studios has taken those C-listers, the heroes that no one wanted when they sold off X-Men to Fox and Fantastic Four and the Hulk and the Spider-Man. They took the losers that nobody wanted and made them the mega superstars that they are today. The heroes in Endgame are fucking garbage ass heroes in the comic books. And now they're fucking mega superstars because that's what Marvel Studios can do. Sony can't do that shit. Fox couldn't do it with X-Men. This is why we need Spider-Man, the greatest hero in the Marvel Universe, with Marvel Studios. You've heard me talk about Far From Home, so I'm not going to talk about that again. The potential that Marvel had with Spider-Man, the way they left you off of Far From Home. Peter's identity is out in the streets. Everybody knows. Is Mysterio dead? J.K. Simmons back as J. Jonah Jameson. Like, you know how important J. Jonah Jameson is to Spider-Man? He wasn't in the Amazing Spider-Man movies because they didn't want J.K. Simmons to fucking reprise his role. He said he'd fucking do it. This guy's been waiting since fucking Spider-Man 3 to come back because he knew Spider-Man 3 was garbage and he had to redeem himself. Even though he was the best part of Spider-Man 3, which is really sad. Every scene with J. Jonah Jameson in Spider-Man 3 is awesome because that movie is fucking trash. A Sony movie. A trashy Sony movie. that you guys want. If you're with me, if you're with the so-called boycott Sony, keep Spidey in the MCU, then you don't want Spider-Man going back. Because you never want to see another Spider-Man 3 or Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2. In the comic books, Spider-Man revealed himself to the world during the Civil War. He joined Team Iron Man. Iron Man made him reveal himself as part of the superhero registration to show that Peter Parker is Spider-Man. That was an epic moment in the comics. J. Jonah Jameson tried to sue him, but it brought an element in Peter's life why it shows why he wears that mask. The Kingpin put a fucking hit on his family. You know what Spider-Man did? Spider-Man had to go dark because now his family's life was in jeopardy. Spider-Man put on his black suit, went to the fucking prison where Kingpin was at, snuck into prison, and beat the everlasting shit out of the Kingpin. And told him, if you come near my family, I'll fucking be back and I'll fucking kill you. That's what type of stories we can get with the MCU. Where we left Spider-Man off in the MCU. Spider-Man got the girl, Mary Jane. Like I said, you listen to my Far From Home. I don't particularly care for the character they portrayed as Mary Jane, but the chemistry between Tom Holland and Zendaya is fucking unbelievable. You don't want to lose that. You want Mary Jane in Spider-Man's life. I used to read Spider-Man comics, and I had to quit twice. The first time I quit Spider-Man comics was when they did the Clone Saga. Because they told me that the guy I've been reading my entire life wasn't Spider-Man. He was Ben Reilly, the Scarlet Spider. And that shit pissed me off like, fuck this shit, I'm done. But then I came back. And then you know what they did to me? One more day. Because somewhere we can't have Spider-Man married. Spider-Man is a guy with problems. That's what makes him so special. But in that One More Day saga, because everybody knew Spider-Man was, Aunt May was in danger, she got hurt. And Peter tried everything to fucking save Aunt May. And nothing worked. Tony couldn't work. He used Doctor Strange. That shit didn't work. So he ended up going to the devil, Mephisto. And Mephisto said, sure, I'll save your aunt, but I want your love. I want you and Mary Jane's love because it's pure. It's magical. It's something unique. And Mary Jane agreed to it. And that's how they got rid of Peter and Mary Jane's marriage. That shit was stupid. I hate that shit. Spider-Man is a guy with problems. When I was reading Spider-Man, he had problems making the rent. He's a superhero with normal real life problems. The way we left off in Far From Home, he has a major fucking problem. Everybody knows who the fuck he is. And J. Jonah Jameson's on the scene. And he's gonna be up his ass. Because he knows that Spider-Man's a goddamn menace. That's the fucking story that you want to tell, man. And then we're finally gonna get a Spider-Man MCU movie where he's not in the shadow of Tony Stark. Far From Home, man, he took the leap to be the next guy. To be the next Avenger. To be the lead of the Marvel Universe. Sure, Disney, they want their fucking money because they made 2 fucking free movies for Sony. Because Sony fucking couldn't do it. And Sony's like, yo, fuck that, man. So we'll just take Spider-Man back because we can make it. Because I know they believe that they can make $1 billion off Spider-Man. Nah, man. Marvel Studios made $1 billion off of Spider-Man. And I'm going to be honest. I really watched Spider-Man Far From Home as the epilogue to Endgame. The most epic comic book movie ever. I was very satisfied with Far From Home. But Far From Home wrapped up Endgame. Spider-Man needs to interact with people. In Marvel Comics, that's what Spider-Man does, man. Punisher first appearance, Spider-Man. Like I said, Spider-Man Wolverine, Spider-Man the X-Men. Hell, the Spider-Man cartoon, the Fox cartoon had a crossover with the X-Men. Because that's what it does. Spider-Man is Amazing Friends. Everybody was in Spider-Man Amazing Friends. Thor, the Juggernaut, the Hulk, everybody. Because Spider-Man is that guy that interacts with everybody. Spider-Man needs to be in the MCU. With Disney getting back Doctor Doom and the Fantastic Four and the X-Men, you put Spider-Man along with their Avenger team, which is still a fucking bunch of B-listers. But now they're fucking Class A superheroes because Marvel Studio made them Class A. Just imagine what they could do with Spider-Man. I'm going to say it one last time to prove my point. Civil War, 20 minutes. That's all it took for them. Sony couldn't do it 3 times. They failed 3 times. They tapped out. They let Feige use them. Feige fucking make 2 good movies for them. And now they want them back because Disney wants more money. They better hope that Disney doesn't fucking take them to the fucking bank. The more and more I see what's going on, the director's out, the guy that did the 2 movies, this is what we're going to get, man. We're going to get another fucking origin story. I don't need to see Uncle Ben die again. I don't need to see Tom Holland do the origin of Spider-Man. I don't want to see that shit. Keep Spidey in the MCU so that we can continue to have great Spider-Man movies. Because yes, if this deal falls apart and Spider-Man's done with MCU, I'm fucking done with Spider-Man movies. I'm done. Because I'm not going through that shit again. I'm not going through Spider-Man 3 again. So that's my rant. I thank you for getting through it. I apologize for all the cussing because, if your kids are around. But I'm Spider-Man, it's very passionate to me, man. Spider-Man means a lot to me. I'll tell you, this is a true story. Celebrity deaths, they don't really get me. When Stan Lee died, I was picking up my daughter from school, and I'm in the parent pickup line, and I just start bawling. I'm fucking crying like a goddamn baby. And it's because Stan Lee gave me a hero that I could be. A superhero that meant so much to me. He created that. Like I said, I'm not bullshitting. When I read Amazing Fantasy 15, I cried. Funny story is that my cousin Bill Demerit gave my son Austin the gigantic omnibus, and that's how I read it. Because I took that shit, because Austin didn't deserve that shit. I deserved it because Spider-Man was my guy. I grew up with Spider-Man. So I took the omnibus, I read Amazing Fantasy 15, and I cried because it was that good. Spider-Man is the hero that always reminds me that with great power comes great responsibility. As a supervisor, I understand what responsibility is. Keep Spider-Man in the MCU so that I can continue to enjoy watching my favorite hero on screen and not perverted and twisted by a studio that gives no fucks about him. Before I go, as usual, I want to thank Austin Green for all the work, agreen.designs, my man Bobby Warden, 2 veterans. Also, a big shout out to David Whalen, who's going to come back on the show. Hopefully he comes back after, if he hears his rant, like, Joe, I'm sorry, I can't. But hopefully, we got plans to do another episode. We're going to talk about sci-fi. So that's going to be Sci-Fi Movies with David Whalen. So make sure you check out his stuff. Correct Handed Productions on Facebook. The Offspring Comic. So that's my time. I thank you for listening to the rant. Joe Green, on my box. I'm out.